Good evening again, and welcome back to the final series and Follow Your Dreams. If this is your first time joining us, you have missed an exciting first, second, and third series, and I invite you to just go back and watch those so you can catch up. It's like a soap opera. In the first series, you heard about a 7-year-old kid who wanted to be a teacher, who was so passionate that she beat the grass under the ackee tree, and then she got her neighbor's kids and she taught them what she learned in school. And then in the second series, you heard about a child who went to high school and wanted to follow her dream, but was afraid. So she followed the dream that was in her mother's head for her. And then you heard about her college years in the third series, and the track record of going to a school thinking she could be a flight attendant, hated it. Then she ended up in university pursuing tourism management, which she hated, but she endured. And now we're going to hear about her transition into the working world and what did it do for her. Jessica, talk about September 2015 and tell us what happened.
So, September 2015, I had applied previously to St. Vincent's Ramby Catholic High School, that is in Bull Savannah and St. Elizabeth. I had applied for the position of Spanish teacher, and I received a call the last week in August asking me to come for an interview the following Monday morning. I was so excited. I immediately started looking an outfit because this was happening. This was what I wanted to do.
Wow.
So
how did you
got
feel?
my documents ready.
Did you feel like you were awake? Did you feel like the giant had shaken off the sleepiness and was ready?
I felt like I just became the president. I felt so elated. I mean, it felt as if I had already gotten the job.
Wow.
I was excited, over the moon. Even though it was just an interview, that's my job. That's mine. No doubt about it. I gathered my documents and I put everything down from Saturday because I was ready for the interview on Monday morning. Interview was at 9 a.m. and I got there from 8. And I sat down and I waited. And I did a part 1 of the interview with the vice principal. I was the only applicant there, by the way, for Spanish. So I knew that this was mine. There was no doubt about it.
Doubt.
This was my job. So I went to the first part of the interview with the vice principal, and we spoke about, well, me not having a teacher's certification and just having recently graduated and not having any experience in the classroom. But I talked my way around that, So I was able to go to the second part of the interview. Now, this second part of the interview was done in Spanish, and I didn't even know that the principal could talk Spanish. I was like, what? This is impressive. And he was from the United States. He was a brother. They call them brothers. He was a brother, and he had said that he had journeyed to Mexico previously. When he lived there for 2 years, that's where he learned Spanish. So the interview was done in Spanish, and then at the end he said, "Welcome to the team." I was like, yes. I knew this was my job. This was my job. And that was the week before school had opened. And then when I went for teacher's orientation, I learned that I would not only be teaching Spanish, but I'd be teaching visual arts. I will be teaching reading. I will be teaching integrated science. I was like, this is it, man. This is wonderful. You know, I'm being exposed to so many things. I can do this. And I had no integrated science, the sciences there. I'm being brought back to the sciences again. But it was just to grade 7 and 8. So I was good. It was no
There was
biology
no
and physics
dissecting.
and chemistry. So it was just integrated science, grade 7 and 8. Yes. And I was teaching Spanish up to grade 11. I was teaching reading to the slower students and English A as well to the slower students. So I had a packed timetable and I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. I was chirpy every morning when I went to work. I I was chirpy throughout the day, and then my colleagues would say, "Where you get so much energy from?" And I was like, "Because I actually like what I am doing." So I did that for about two years. I was a teacher there, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And then in 2018, I received a promotion that I didn't even apply for. I was that good. I
Was it that you were that good, Jessica, or was it that because you were it, operating in your calling that it was just natural for you?
right. And I think it was that it came naturally for me, and the fact that I got along so well with the students. So there was no doubt when the principal called me and she said, "Mrs. Clarke, I would like you to be our dean of student life for the upcoming year." I was like, "Really? But I didn't apply for that position." And she said, "I see where you are able to adequately function in that position. So there's no doubt in my mind that you will do well." And I took some time to
Tell
think
us
about it because I didn't want to seem
tell
like
us
I
in
was so
5 words,
desperate.
Jessica. Tell us in 5 words what that position entails.
5 words, boy, Auntie Ingrid, that's 5 words.
Okay, 10.
That includes planning, planning, planning activities, disciplining students, coordinating clubs, um, being active around the school, extracurricular activities, netball, art club, all of those stuff. Organizing fundraising dinners, fundraising other fundraising activities, a lot of work.
A lot of
All
work that you
along with
enjoyed,
being
right?
a teacher.
A lot
So
of
the
work
teaching
that
didn't
you
end
enjoyed.
at that point. Yes, yes. So I was still teaching Spanish and integrated science, but not as much as I was before. So
Right.
the classes became fewer because I had additional duties. So it was it was a wonderful year, and I am still currently the dean, doing an excellent job, and there's no place that I'd rather be. I
Wow.
get up in the mornings and I'm excited to go to work, even though there are days when the students will get at you and you say you can't bother. But at the end of the day, it's what I want to do. It is what puts the fire within me, and I feel really excited to go to work. Even now, with all of this online learning, I complain every day, but really I don't see myself doing anything else apart from this. And it was so it was so personal to me. It was so deep to me that while I was a teacher, I looked and I saw a need. You know, the stu- the students that came to the school, they weren't interested in Spanish because at that school we don't get the cream of the crop of students.
Okay.
So it's the students who consider themselves to be slow learners that come to our school, and they aren't interested in Spanish, they aren't interested in nothing. You have to get them interested, you have to meet their needs, you have to realize what they want, you have to go to the level at which they are at. And with that in mind, that's what motivated me towards my next big step.
All right. So
That's
before
what
we go to that
influenced
next
me
big step,
to.
right? Before we go there, Jessica, tell us in some
Yeah.
ways how you get these kids to be inspired. How what are some of the methods you use to get them interested, to evoke some interest?
Okay. So kids these days are into technology. There isn't a day that I don't have to take away a phone from somebody or some gadgets. So what I do is that for my classes, I tend to use technology.
Mm,
Um, we have songs. I encourage them to make songs with the Spanish words using current lyrics. And trust me, their rap songs, R&B songs, and they come out with a full force. I sometimes turn it into a competition for them, and they love competition. They strive. Once they hear competition and prize, they're all in. So I tend to engage them with technology and going down to their level. If they need extra help, I'm there after school with them. If they don't understand something, sometimes I may get upset because I'm saying you've been in the class for how long and you don't understand. Seriously. But at the end of the day, I just want everybody to be on the same page, and I will practically do anything for them at this point in time. Anything.
and who better to understand these kids than somebody who struggled a lot to really come into themselves? So who better? Sometimes we look at life and we say, mommy wanted me to do this, or mommy wanted me to do that. But then we look at it and we say, okay, if mommy weren't in the picture saying you should be a doctor, you wouldn't have gone down the path you did, the struggles you had to go through to get to where you are now, so that you can understand the kids that have been assigned to you, because this is an assignment. And that's how our dreams are. If it comes to us naturally, if we walk a steady path, we would never have anything to impart because we never struggled. How can we meet people? You say go down to their level. How could you
Yeah.
go down to a child's level if you haven't been at your lowest level? So the things you went through prepared you for this moment. Now, the big question is this, right? I know this year you got to a point where you were a bit frustrated as well with COVID and everything, but something happened.
Oh, yes.
Something happened, and I want to hear it, and I want you to share it with the world right now. What happened to Jessica this year during COVID?
So during COVID, I had a lot of time on my hands, and I decided that why not use this time for something that will impact my students in a meaningful way. So I got to talking with my fabulous aunt, and she encouraged me to do whatever it is that I needed to do to get it done. I'll tell you something about my aunt. When she's finished talking to you, she'll make you feel like you can walk on the waters. She's that powerful. So during COVID, I decided to write a Spanish workbook. So I compiled all the various topics that I teach, and I put it in one book. So I have a book one and I have a book two. And the name of the book is Espanol es Facil, which means Spanish is easy. So this is the book.
That is the
So
book.
it
Let's see your
has
name,
various
Jessica.
activities based on topics.
Look at that. Jessica O. Clarke. And look at that, ladies and gentlemen. All the artwork. Remember, in the first series, she was passionate about art, about colors and everything. And look at what she's holding in her hands today. Her dream. Her dream. Follow your dream. Espanol es fácil. Thank you, Jessica. But there was a point where you still weren't sure, even when you were asked in the meeting about what textbook were you going to use to start off this year, which is the 2020 to 2021 year. Tell us about that meeting and how this whole idea was born, because sometimes we think our dream will come up, I don't know, like Superman or something, when in fact our dreams, the ideas are like that. So just tell us about that, Jessica.
So I had a meeting, a general staff meeting, and we were compiling the book list for the next term, and we were supposed to write the book on it that we wanted to use with our kids. And when I was asked, I was like, I don't really see a book that meets the needs of the kids that we have here. I I I I don't like these books. I think I would do a better job at writing a book. I think I'm going to compile a book. At first it was just the thought of compiling some activities for them in a little workbook, nothing this major. It was just compiling some stuff and giving it to them. And then through talking and coaching, it the whole idea of a big book came about, and I said, okay, I can do this. And I called my academic dean, who was compiling the book list, and I told her, I will be compiling a book for my students. I'm not sure of the name of the book as yet, but I will be doing the workbook for them. So I gave them a textbook to purchase, and then they would be using this particular book that I have compiled, because I see where it would be much more understandable to them, and it would have met their needs more than the other books that are there. So that's how this whole idea came about.
And was it easy, Jessica, to write that book? What was that journey like?
Absolutely not. It was not easy. There were days when I was tired, when I said, I can't bother, this is not going to work. I can't bother. And then I would get a motivational text message or a voice note saying that, come on, you can do this. You know, this is something that will not only impact the kids, but it will also impact you. This is big. And as I said before, my aunt, she played a tremendous role in getting these books done on time as well, because she would message me, um how are you coming along with the book? How are you almost finished? When are you going to do this? Are you going to go big? What are your plans? What's the cost of the book? She was like my brand manager. So it was just a bit hard at the moment, but I endured, and I am satisfied, more than satisfied with the results.
So proud of you. What has been the feedback so far on the workbook?
For the book, it has been received well by the students. They are currently using them, and they find it very easy to use. They like they prefer it to their past workbooks. That's the book two. So the students are they're very receptive towards the book, and it has been a wonderful term. So we have come to the end of our term, and it has been wonderful so far. No problems at all with them.
Wonderful. El español de fácil? Spanish is easy or español es fácil? Español es fácil. Sí, I got it. I got it. Jessica Clarke, your journey continues. And for right now, where you are, what, looking back over the 4 weeks, Jessica, what would you want to say? Say, speak to one of your students. What would you tell them to do when you look back from age 7 to where you are right now and where you're going? Because I know you're going places. But if somebody came to you and said, Mrs. Clarke, I want to be a teacher, but my mother wants me to be a doctor, what would you do, Jessica?
And to tell you the truth, I get that quite a bit because I act sometimes as a guidance counselor. So I would have kids come in who say that they don't want to do this subject and they don't want to do this. So we get to the bottom of it as to why is it that you don't want to do it? Is it that you naturally don't have a passion for it, or is it that you your mom wants you to do it? What is it? So at this point, I kind of am glad of what I went through because I can relate tremendously to what they are currently going through. So I am in the position now where they don't have to talk to their moms, you know. I call in parents for this. So I have conversation with parents and I tell them, you know, this is not the path that your child wants to take. The path that he or she wants to take is what motivates them. It's their passion. It's what they should do. And I sometimes share my story with these parents because I want them to know that at the end of it all, they're not the ones who are going to be miserable. They're not the ones who are going to have a hard time every morning getting up and going to work. So I share this experience with parents, and I tell kids every day at school, do what you do best. Do what motivates you, not what your mom wants. Not that you're not going to get an education, but do what is best for you. Do what you when you go to work, it feels like you're not even working, you know, because you love it that much. So I tell kids that every single day.
Oh, wow, Jessica, follow your dream. That sums it up. That sums it up. And I'm so proud of you that you followed. You endured, Jessica. You endured. You know, the Bible says the race is not for the swift, nor the battle for the strong, but for the one who endures. And you endured. And I'm so proud of you. You're going places. Keep following your dreams, Jessica. You can never go wrong when you follow your heart, when you follow your passion, when you follow your dreams. Thank you so much again, Jessica. It has indeed been a pleasure just having this conversation with you. And as your book says, Espanol is Facil.